Hi there, today I'm going to talk about how habits and systems will affect your chance of seeing results in your training or anything else for that matter, because having goals and a direction is something that is crucial for success, yet winners and losers do still have the same goals. So I'm going to talk about that and how habits can affect your results. So it's just that having a goal, let's say a winner and a loser, it's just that one of them is going to succeed and one is going to lose. And the only difference is that the one that succeeds has a much better system. Because getting or doing a habit that means you just get 1% better might not seem like anything in the moment. You know, you might be going and eating healthy for 3 days. You might be going training 3 days in a row. You might nail your nutrition for a month straight. Yet, you might still not see any results at all. You might still look exactly the same. You may be sleeping well for a week or a month, yet not feel any significant difference right now. That does not mean that it's not working. It's just that all processes are delayed. So think about it like the result of a process and a habit that you do, or just an action that you take, is not something that the true effect of it is not something that you're gonna see in the short term, but something that you're gonna see by or with time. And this is what I'm gonna discuss today, so you can have an understanding of what to do and how habit will affect if you see results or not. So for example, let's say you're nailing your training, your technique is getting better, you're nailing your macros, you're nailing your sleep, yet after a month of being on point, you could still be lifting the exact same weights or look the same. It could be that you haven't seen any progress at all. But by keeping at it and getting 1% better every single day, it's going to add up to a lot in the long run. So this is a long-term game, no matter which goals you have. It's always the long-term game, and your habits play a big role in this. Results are objects of circumstances, meaning it's not in our control. So listen to that again, the result is not in your control. We can manage your systems, we can get 1% better every day and still not see the result. But the secret ingredient is, drumroll, time. Just because your efforts fall short now doesn't mean that it's impossible or that you aren't traveling the right track. It just means that it's going to take more time. This means you can achieve your goals, whether it's to get strong as hell or toning up or whatever else it could be, but it will take time. But let's say you keep staying with bad habits that are not aligned with the goals that you have, then that's also going to compound because you are the product of your habits. And if you have the habits of a healthy person, you're going to get healthy eventually, even though you are not healthy right now, or if it wasn't even your goal. And if you have the habits of an unhealthy person, you will turn unhealthy eventually, even though you are perfectly healthy and strong right now. But if you do things that are aligned with your goals, you are with time going to achieve them. However, when it happens, it's not in your control. You have a team and they have a game, and they have the system to get better every single day. Every session of the season, they've been getting every day. They've been getting 1% better every day. Now, when the game is happening, if they're going to look there and stay and look at the scoreboard and try to control the scoreboard right there at the game, it's not going to work. But if they have the system moving up, let's say their goal wasn't even to win the championship, yet they did things eventually every single session, every day they did things, they got 1% better, and all the systems that they had were in line with winning a championship, even though it wasn't their goal. Now the scoreboard is going to take care of itself. So this is with every single thing that you do, is things will take care of themselves if you have the system. So this is what I mean. Let's say you are right now really healthy. You're training consistently, you're well trained, you're strong, athletic, you're into sports, for example. Let's say you stop training right now. Let's say you start eating out. Let's say you stop prioritizing your sleep. Eventually, you are going to turn unhealthy. Like, if that's the habits that you have, you're never going to be able to keep an healthy body because you are not going to be having the habits for it. And it's the long-term game. So what you do the majority of the time is what matters. Now, if you choose one night to stay in and look at Netflix and miss one session or eat one unhealthy meal, that's not gonna make you unhealthy. But if it is what you do the majority of the time, it's going to make a difference. But if the majority of the time you decide to eat healthy, you decide to go train consistently, and you decide to go out and sleep well, then you are going to see results. And you know, having something bad once in a while won't hurt you at all, even though it's every single week. Because what matters is what you do the majority of the time. But what you do the majority of the time then has to be a system aligned with your goal, meaning you have to think about getting 1% better every day. Now, you might think that, but I don't want results in 10 years. I want them now. So you might think this is not fitting to me. I can get them unhealthy and get fast results, and then I just have to keep them. And I can change then. Now, here comes the thing. Hyperintention never works. So hyperintention is basically going in with like a miraculous effort or taking a huge action, but that will never get you there, not in a realistic and sustainable way, because it doesn't work like that. What does work, however, always is persistence, meaning consistency over a miracle amount of time. It's just that you need to show up for your goals every day and have extreme patience. And remember that all processes are delayed. So you want to seek long-term gratification instead of short-term gratification. So think about it like getting 1% better. It might not seem like anything. I repeat myself this time. But in the end of the year, it's going to add up to a lot. Just think about it. 1% better over the course of 365 days, and you get 1% better every day. Even though you just get 1% better every week, or 0.001% better, it's still gonna add up to much more. Let's say you get 1% worse every day and every week. So let's say that every day after another, you do a choice that's not aligned with your goals. So you do something completely different, scrolling through social media for half an hour instead of going to the gym for half an hour, for example. Now that also is going to compound, because you can see these percentages as piling up. So there was a quote I read this morning, gosh, what was it? Okay, let's say you're on a journey and you're walking. At the time, at the last step, when you arrive at the door or at the destination, you're going to feel fatigued. Now, at the last step, fatigue is gonna hit you. Now, you might think that, oh crap, I shouldn't have taken that last step. But the fatigue never came just at the last step. It came from moving, from all the steps you took before. This is another quote that is from Atomic Habits. Let's say you have an ice cube. Now, you can heat the ice cube up. Let's say you have it, you're in a 28-degree room and you heat it up. You heat it up, and 1 degree at a time. The ice cube would still be in front of you and nothing will happen. The ice cube is still there, but at 32 degrees, it's going to melt. Before that, nothing is gonna happen. It's still gonna be there perfectly intact. That doesn't mean that nothing happened beforehand. It just means that at a certain threshold, you're gonna see the results. Meaning, you're not going to see any results for now. It's gonna look like this. You're gonna eat healthy, go training, and nothing is gonna happen. You're gonna go training and eat well and sleep well, nothing is gonna happen. You're thinking about giving up. But once you pass a certain threshold, it's gonna go like this. And then all of a sudden, you're gonna see all of the results. So that's how it works. So you want to always think about it like that, that the process is delayed. The results are still going to come. It's not necessarily when you want them. And this is the part, and I like to think about this. So those of you who follow me on Instagram, you know that I recently had an injury. And I had to learn during this process to truly realize that I can control my injury. That's something I can control my systems, so that I'm doing the rehab, that I'm eating well, that I'm sleeping well, and that I'm training and choosing technique over weight right now. But I can choose if it's still gonna flare up. If I control everything, all the systems of a healthy athletic person that is going to get stronger, I am eventually going to get stronger. Now, I just can't control when. Because I can do a lot of things to control that I'm going to be at my strongest then, but a lot of things are outside my control. For example, I might need more time to actually get to the strength needed to be at. So this is the thing that you want to think about. Time is not within your control, meaning the results is not in your control. You control your efforts, the efforts you put in, the systems that you have, the habits that you have, what you make of them, what your priorities are, and that you're persistent and that you can resist impulses that are not aligned with your goals. But however, let's say instead that you go with hyperintention or you try to control it, you're going to feel very, very off. You're going to feel very off, and you're gonna go and you're gonna screw things up. That's how I got injured, and I don't want you to do that. So it's very stupid to go and expect things to go in a linear effort, because it's never linear. Most likely when you get really fast results, you know, like a restricted diet, you get really fast results, but all of a sudden they're gone like this, and that's because you don't have the habits of holding on to those results. If you've tried a restricted diet before, let's say you've tried keto and you lost a lot of weight, but most, they gain it all back really fast. Why? Because it's a restricted diet, and then once they come off the program, they're going to go back, fall back into their old habits, or they're not going to see any results because they're still in the delayed part, and where nothing seems to happen, but it is happening, it's just delayed, and all of a sudden they just gonna stop, fall back into their old habit because it doesn't seem to do anything and give anything, so it might not just matter. So you just have to stay persistent. That's the one thing that works. So having systems and habits aligned with the type of person you want to become and the goals that you have. And then it's gonna take some extreme patience on your part to actually stay persistent when it gets hard. When you think that nothing is happening, to actually trust the process and realize that, okay, you might be able to think, am I controlling this? Let's say you're eating well and training well and don't see results. Well, are you controlling your sleep? Maybe not. Then add that in and see if that makes a difference. Now, if you are controlling, you're staying consistent, you're nailing macros, you are sleeping well, but still not seeing results, that does not necessarily mean you're doing something wrong. It just means it's gonna take some more time. But if you switch, if you get emotional and you switch to another program like this, then you're gonna screw yourself in the foot. And then it's gonna be much, much harder to get those results. So to sum everything up of my rant today, probably like a 10-minute rant, so I hope you listen, is you are the product of your habits. You don't control the results. The result is an object of circumstances. You can only control your efforts. Be prepared to fail, and for it to take long, you have to stay persistent because the process are delayed. So the results are gonna come eventually, but you're not gonna see anything. And small habits is what's going to make up if you actually receive the results. Everyone that has achieved something, that are mastered something that is a talent, because talent doesn't exist, they've always had some sort of deliberate practice, and they've been getting 1% better every day and eventually reach their goals. But they have the product, they are having the systems of what they want to achieve. So even if your goal isn't to become healthy or win a championship, if you have the systems and habits aligned with reaching those goals, even though it isn't your goal, then you are going to get there eventually as well. So you just actually focusing on the systems and the habits, you are more on the goals, because winners and losers have the same goals. You are the product of your habit, and everything compounds. And this is the thing that you have to remember, that the bad habits that you have also compounds. Stick to having good habits aligned with your goals for the majority of the time. Stay persistent in it, and you are going to see results no matter who you are, which experiences you have, how old you are, or whatever else. You are going to see results if you follow these steps. It's pretty much inevitable. Just get the right systems. Now, if you like this video, I would really appreciate if you click the like button and also subscribe to, well, not miss any future videos. Thank you. Bye.